Another weekend has passed, which means it's time to deep dive into everything happening over at the box office. And producer Charlie joins us now. So producer Charlie, what'd you see this weekend? What do we need to know?
Okay, so first up, we're going to start with Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire.
Who are you going to call?
Oh, you took my joke.
So this is technically the fourth installment from the original Ghostbusters. It's a continuation. The plot of this one is when an ancient artifact is discovered and unleashes an ancient evil force, Ghostbusters, new and old, must fight forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age.
Okay.
Now this brings back McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon from Afterlife, which was a few years ago, but it also brings back our three remaining original Ghostbusters, as well as Annie Potts, who was like their secretary in the originals, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very fun, we'll play a lot of nostalgia if you've seen 1 and 2,
Okay.
the original Ghostbusters. For me, it felt like a lot of build-up, though, for the big bad, too, and then very little of the big bad. Still good. I actually thought it went by very quickly compared to some movies, and you know, nowadays they're super long. So overall, this movie has made $61.6 million worldwide in this opening weekend. So not quite made its budget back of $100 million, but it's getting there. And that's only been the opening weekend.
Yeah.
So very good. Have you guys watched Ghostbusters?
I haven't seen the original.
I haven't either.
And I didn't, you said there was 4, and I didn't know there was 4.
Well, 4's including Afterlife from recently and this one.
Well,
so there's only 2 of the originals.
We're still embarrassing today. It's okay. We just haven't seen them.
I would suggest you watch them.
So you kind of give it a thumbs up?
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up. It's a good one.
It's
fun. And apparently, there might be more in the future.
Oh, even more.
Because apparently when they made Afterlife, they wanted to do like 3 more sequels after that. So I don't know for sure. To me, it felt like it could have been a stopping point.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Immaculate. This is an R-rated psychological horror about
on this.
Cecilia, that looks scary. Just her
played
picture.
by Sydney Sweeney, a woman of devout faith who is warmly welcomed to a picture-perfect Italian countryside where she's offered a new role in an illustrious convent. But it becomes clear to Cecilia that her new home harbors dark and horrifying
That's going to end badly for her.
Yeah, I don't like this.
So Sydney Sweeney actually auditioned for this in like 2014. The project ended up like not ever happening, but she eventually like went out of her way, like chased down for the rights for the story, revised the script, hired the director, found financiers, and actually sold it to Neon and got this made. So she's actually a producer as well as the star of this movie.
That's really cool. 10 years later, wow.
Yeah, and they actually shot this in Rome.
Oh, that's cool.
So it is a very interesting, I wouldn't call it horror. I'd say more suspense.
It looks kind of scary.
I mean, it has its moments where I had to look away a few times.
Brandy's like, I don't know about those pictures.
I don't think that would be my journey.
No, I had to look away a few times because there were like, you know, a nail, something pulling, you know, I can't do that stuff.
No.
But it just felt more suspense, not horror. But it's a very interesting story, especially the ending. So currently it's made like, I think 5.3 million so far worldwide in its opening weekend. I think this is one of Sydney Sweeney's best performances that I've seen.
Oh, okay, hot take.
So if you go see it,
it'd
be interesting to know. Not much coming out this next weekend, though.
Okay.
So we'll have Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, so the newest MonsterVerse movie.
Okay.
And then nothing really coming out on streaming big-wise. So.
Okay, so nothing coming out, but a lot has been coming to streaming. So let's revisit a few things. Is there anything that you would suggest maybe people haven't seen they should watch it now on streaming?
Put me on the spot. If you haven't seen The Holdovers, you know, that was a very good one.
Good, yes.
I know it's not Christmassy now, but I mean, any of the big picture nominees were really worth watching. I'm trying to think. The Color Purple was a good one. It's on one of the services now. There were a few that, you know, the new Roadhouse came out this week, and I didn't end up watching it.
Is that the Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah,
I haven't heard good things about that.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things either.
Yeah.
But
you don't mess with Roadhouse, I feel like. I feel like that's kind of one of those.
That's one of the originals I haven't seen. You haven't seen Ghostbusters?
I haven't seen Roadhouse either.
Or Top Gun, but I've seen Roadhouse.
It's okay.
But there's a lot of good ones out there to catch up on.
What about anything coming up in the next few months that you're like specifically excited for?
I mean, this is until June, but I'm super excited about Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3,
the newest MCU, because he's actually in the MCU this year.
Okay.
Let's see. I watched all the Planet of the Apes movies recently for the new one that comes out in May. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people surprisingly really like the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Okay.
Which surprised me just because of the content of it, you know.
All right.
But
lots of good stuff to check out. Yes. Okay.
Sure,
all right.
so fun.
Well, thanks for your insight. We'll get more next week.